What it do, MilliNation? So Respawn had just released the patch notes for the Lost Treasure Collection event. So I'm gonna go through and highlight some key major changes that we're gonna see in tomorrow's update. And also I put the timestamp here if you want to jump to the Devstream, which they also released on YouTube as well. But I just want to read through the patch notes and go through some major changes and what bugs, what tweaks, what nerfs that we're gonna get tomorrow in tomorrow's update. Definitely a lot of changes. Some surprised me and some that I called, in my previous video from last week. So you guys want to check that out. But let's go and get right into it. So we know about the Lost Treasure Collection event, which will start tomorrow. Also the Armed Dangerous Evolved limited time mode would also be included in the event. Would also include only shotguns, snipers are allowed. You also saw with the Mozambique and the Evil armor. Alright, we also know about the mobile respawn beacons, which also only be available in the limited time mode tomorrow, and then after that it will be in the game permanent as well. And also now with a crypto town takeover. So now I did watch the Devstream video already, but I noticed that crypto town takeover again it's the area outside of our repulsor, and also outside of the watchtower outside of repulsor as well. So now I know they mentioned in a Devstream video that you can use this tech to get the location of all legends on the map and check the screen scattered around the room to see how many enemy squads are nearby. So once you activate this tower, you'll be able to see where everybody is on the map. So it's kind of like it's like an advanced UAV. If you guys ever play Warzone, where people try to get 3 UAVs and then pinpoint where everybody is. So I don't know if it's going to show where exactly how everybody's moving, like what direction they're facing. But again, so this is a very powerful, very useful place to land a town takeover as well. It's heirloom. So again, I think once you collect all 24 packs, you get the heirloom for free. So now let's jump down to the juicy stuff. Let's go and get to these patch notes. Alright, so first off, Lifeline. So now her passive is combat revive now and replace her combat medic. So now her deployed dock drone to revive teammates. The dock will deploy a shield and revive Lifeline's teammates, leaving Lifeline free to defend or revive someone else. So guys, what you guys saw in the Lost Treasure Collection event trailer. So now that is a passive instead now. So now that fully replaces Lifeline's old passive, including fast heal. Also now her Lifeline's tactical cooldown is now 45 seconds compared to 60 seconds now. So she has a reduction of her cooldown, so a buff, I guess we call it a buff to that. Now her ultimate, Lifeline's care package now contains more items. The care package will contain 3 times more small healing items when it decides to spawn small healing items. And her care package will contain 2 times more attachments when it decides to spawn attachments. Alright, so now her Samati best friend, Octane. So now his tactical, upon activation, his stem will remove movement and parrying effects. Now his stem sprint speed is increased by 10% now as well. So he does have a buff to his tacticals. Now his speed is now increased to 10%. And I think they mentioned in the Devstream video that he can if he activate his tactical, I think it mentioned that where he can move quicker through the so like caustic gas, for example. Alright, now his ultimate, now his players can now double jump in mid-air after using Octane's launch pad. Players can change direction easily from a double jump. So it's kind of like, if you guys ever play Halo, to where, and they're going to show it in the Devstream part of the video as well. And also I can show it here for you guys to see it as well. But they show it to where now teammates and also him, now once you activate the jump pad, now you can double jump in midair after using his launch pad. Alright, so now there's another buff to Revenant. So now his tactical will now cancel Pathfinder mid grapple. Wraith, it also cancel Wraith mid phase walk or avoid attempt before the phase walks activates. Now his tactical will now prevent Mirage cloak revive, his Mirage decoy control activation, and also it will not prevent Lifeline combat revive. So that's a huge, I think the biggest thing now is a huge buff to Revenant. And also his ultimate, the range is now removed on the death totem. So now his range is removed on a death totem now, so that there's no more limit for Revenant's death totem. So now you can go anywhere you want once you activate. So also another huge buff for Revenant. As for Crypto, his tactical now deploying hack drone now takes 1.5 seconds compared to 2.5 seconds. Now his ultimate, his EMP will now disable Watson's pylon, so another slight I'm gonna call it like a buff for crypto. Now he can deploy his drone a lot quicker, and then his ultimate can now will disable Watson's pylons. So now for Loba, her tactical, her burglar's best friend will no longer be intercepted by Watson's intercepting pylon. Now her ultimate, her black market boutique, will now only pick up 1 stack of ammo rather than 1 stack plus the amount that was required to fill whatever parts of stack it had in inventory. And now her ultimate sales now get 25% ult charge, for this up from 17.5%. So slight buff to Loba. Mirage Tactical, you can now hold a tactical button and release the auto control decoys. Decoys will now say lines when shot. Alright, so that's another buff from Mirage. Some more love to Mirage this season. Now, it's passive when cloaked Mirage holo emitters will be visible to players that are less than 5 meters away. So now also too is Skydive will now create decoys for the entire squad when skydiving, when still diving with your squad. Gibraltar now is fast heal, granted inside the dome shield is slowed down 25% faster, 15% faster. So Gibby or Jibby, you know, there was a whole debate yesterday during the ALGS tournament. Now his slowdown is reduced from 25 to 50% faster, a nerf for Gibraltar. And for Caustic, enemies can now cancel Caustic's barrel by shooting it before it's fully inflated. And also for Watson, the intent of these changes is to create openings where enemies can reach Watson's positions. It is still possible for Watson players to hold a position with the trophy indefinitely, but that should come at the cost of using Ultimate Observer. So now, her pylon now lasts for 90 seconds. And now Watson can now have up to 3 pylons out at a time. And also too, now her pylon, so it's not infinite anymore. So now her intercept pylon not only lasts for 90 seconds, but she can now have up to 3 pylons out at a time instead of just 1, if I'm not mistaken. So that's very interesting to see. So now you don't have to, you know, destroy it. I mean, you can destroy within 90 seconds if you're opposing team, but now, you know, it only lasts for 90 seconds. So now, increasing Ray's tactical cooldown has proven to be ineffective at curbing her exceedingly high win rate and kill rate. These changes are meant to disincentivize Ray players from using Phase 1 as a get out of jail free card and move into more of a repositioning and scouting ability. So now her phase now takes 1.25 seconds to enable. It was 0.4 seconds, and they're going to show a demonstration in the Devstream video. During this time, Ray will sleep at 20% move slow. This does not affect phase while placing a phase portal. And also while in the phase, Wraith now gets a 30% move speed boost. Also too, while in phase while Wraith can now see other players, while in the void are definitely useful to see. So now once you got so now in the void you can actually see people instead of guessing, you know, where people are at. I definitely like the speed boost. Now her phase walk now lasts 4 seconds compared to the previous 3 seconds. And now the cooldown is reduced from 25, which was from 35 seconds, which I missed before. They gave her that nerf back in season 3. And also a phase tunnel is decreased distance for portal placement by 25%. So now, the distance where you can place the portal is now decreased by 25%. Definitely interesting to see how that affects, you know, people playing her as well. So it's kind of like, you know, kind of give and take. They didn't completely nerf Wraith. It's kind of okay. You gotta give some, you know, to take some. Let me go through this real quick. Probably the last part I'll go over, and then I must show the Devstream video. Now, weapons and loot. The zip lines. A cooldown will be applied to re-grabbing zip lines without touching the ground. And also, the cooldown will increase with each time a player disconnects and re-grabs the zip line. And also, the cooldown will reset when a player touches the ground. Now, the Havoc rifle. Now, I called this one as well. I said they were going to nerf it, and I was right on the money when they said they decreased the magazine size from 32 to 28. If not, you can go back and check the film to where I said, okay, they're going to nerf the magazine size from 32 to 28. And now they greatly increased the horizontal recoil and initial shots of bursts. In the Sentinel, reach trigger time is 1.75 to 1.6. The energized duration has increased from 90 to 120 seconds. Alright, and now the quality of life updates. Teammates can now ping a friendly caustic trap, a new health bar for when users are in Revenant Shadow form, and map rotation times are now even between Kings Canyon and World's Edge. And then you see here some bug fixes that they mentioned. as well. I'm not going to go through all the bug fixes, so I want to go ahead and jump into the Devstream video. But definitely my thoughts, my reaction to, all these buffs and nerfs. I'm definitely curious to see how all these players or legends, play these legends now, especially like Watson, Ray, Lifeline with no longer her having a fast heal. I think the Octane buff is good. It's not. I want to say that it's a great buff, but it's something. It's a good speed boost, increased by 10%. And also with this double jump, I really want to make this video with tomorrow's like gameplay to show you guys everything. But I'm going to go ahead, guys, jump into the dev stream. So leave a like if you enjoy the content, subscribe if you love it, and I'll talk to you later, MilliNation. Peace.
Hey everybody, welcome to our next episode of the Devstream. Hard to believe it is June already, and we got a lot of really fun stuff to talk about. I am Jay Frechette, Community Manager for Respawn. With me, Jason McCord and Chad Grenier, our fearless leaders on the Apex team. Guys, thank you for joining us remotely here for this episode, for a very exciting episode.
Yeah, it's been a while.
You're welcome.
All right. Yeah, it's always like, we always say time is hard to judge during these times right now, so it's nice having these dev streams. It's like, oh, it's been a month, here we go. Time for another check-in. So it is the 22nd. EA Play has just happened on the 18th. We had some pretty awesome stuff to talk about for Apex. I think, Chad, as you were the arbiter of our messaging there, why don't we recap what we announced just last on the 18th for EA Play?
Yeah, I was really excited to just announce lots of things coming to Apex. So for starters, we're bringing Apex to Steam, which is awesome because now you have two choices, Origin or Steam. You've got your Steam friends, you'll be able to invite them, play with them, etc. So I think that's huge. But I would say even more exciting than that is we're bringing the game to Switch. Always wanted to work on a Nintendo title, so super excited. And because we're going to be on these platforms, of course, we need crossplay. So crossplay is coming this fall. You'll be able to play across all those platforms together with your friends. So couldn't be more excited. It's actually kind of surreal to think that we're actually going to be able to play with each other. McCord plays on PlayStation. I play on Xbox. I think you play on PC. We'll finally be able to party up.
Yeah, I agree. It's been a hard one to keep a lid on, I think, internally as we've been playtesting and it's becoming a real thing and building up to this announcement. This is one of those things that we're working on that felt really good to finally have out there in the wild. And we know players have really been asking for these things too. Info on playapex.com. We'll be talking more about these things, into the year, but very, very exciting stuff coming out of EA Play. We also announced another thing that I know players have been hotly requesting, our next collection event, Lost Treasures, yes, which launches tomorrow, which is really exciting. And so, like our previous events, we're introducing great new content. We got some great new changes that are happening to the game. Let's first go into some of the content stuff. First and foremost, would not be an event without a limited time mode, and Armed and Dangerous is returning with a twist this time. McCord, you want to walk us through that?
Yeah, so Armed and Dangerous, it's called Armed and Dangerous Evolved. The Armed and Dangerous that sort of smashed with Battle Armor Evolved that we released at the end of Season 4. Shotguns and snipers with Evo shields for everyone. So everyone spawns with Evo shields. And you'll play it on Kings Canyon. Yeah, and then, the difference this time around is Mastiffs on the ground instead of Peacekeepers. And I think the Evo shields are going to pull a lot more snipers out of the woodwork.
Oh, for sure. For sure. It's been really fun to play that internally, for sure. Another thing also with the collection events, a Newtown Takeover. This time it's Crypto's turn. This is a really neat location. Also has some interesting gameplay twist to it. So, what can we expect in Crypto's map room, we're calling it, when it hits Kings Canyon?
Crypto's map room, yeah, in Kings Canyon. It's over on the landing pad, or maybe you call it the gas station is how we call it, next to Repulsor. So it kind of takes over that little spot on the edge of the map. It's a large building. It's green and white building, very crypto looking. Got a big satellite dish on top of it. You can enter it from the ground or from the roof, or there's a tunnel underneath that takes you up into it. And there's a jump tower and a respawn beacon nearby. And so the centerpiece of this town takeover is this hologram map of Kings Canyon in the middle of the building. And there's a button there. When you activate that button, the satellite dish pings the entire map for your squad. You can actually see the location of every player on the map for a few seconds. And you can pull that up on you can see them on the holo map. So you see the ping go out on the holo map and you see all the little dots of where everybody is. It looks really cool. And then you can pull up your world map in game, and you can see where all the players are there. as well, you and your squad. So that's a really powerful tool, obviously, which is why it's located where it is. You also get to see the next ring when you do that too. So you get a lot of information when you do this, which is sort of crypto's thing, right? You can also...
we also reveal, like, if you get pinged with the satellite, you know that someone was there and just initiated it, right? So
yeah.
You can go be like, someone's in there. You can go seek them out. That's what I do and die.
There's TVs in the just Chad, this is for you since you die when you do this. There's TVs around the room that say how many squads are nearby. So you should be able to get a good understanding of how risky it is to hit this button and to get this information.
Yeah, it's really cool. And shout out to the artists. I think that just did a killer job with the holotable in the center. That's just seeing the map displayed that way and then showing off the pings. I thought just looked really rad how that came out in there at the end for sure.
You could jump down into it and walk around on it, and you feel like a giant walking around in the hologram map. It's awesome.
You could be like you feel like one of the Leviathan for a second, crawling through there.
And then there's those bunkers around Kings Canyon should start to open up soon too.
Yes, that's right.
Might be something
also very cool
related in there.
Another thing we're introducing with this event and a limited time mode, and this is one of the early things we've worked on in partnership with Respawn Vancouver, a mobile respawn beacon. This is a very exciting element that we're adding into the game. So, McCoy, can you kind of like break down like how this works and sort of like how we're introducing it for players in the Lost Treasures event?
Yeah, the mobile respawn beacon is an item that you loot. You use it from your inventory, sort of like the ultimate accelerant. You open up your inventory and use it. And then you get to place it like a care package. So you have a clacker that comes out and you get to see the ghost of it. When you use it, it drops down from the sky and lands. It makes a lot of noise, just like a care package would. And then anybody can use it. So at that point, once you use it, it goes away. At that, you use it to bring in your friendly and on a dropship. So you get these really cool clutch revives in places that you could never do that before in different locations. A lot of times you'll get in like the last 1 or 2 rings and there's no more revive. There's no more respawn beacons left. So now you just get to bring one in to that final circle with try and get that clutch revive. You also, so to introduce this in Armed and Dangerous Evolved, we're going to turn off all the respawn beacons on the map and everyone gets to come in to the map with one in their inventory. So everyone gets a chance to try it really easily. And then once the mode is over, it'll go into the normal loot pool and the respawn beacons will come back on.
Yeah, I had a great moment. I remember when we were playtesting it where it kind of clicked with me where a teammate had gone down and I grabbed their card. I immediately pulled up to map to look for a respawn beacon. It didn't see any and I kind of panicked for a second and then realized the mode we were playing that I had it in my inventory and ended up calling it right there on the spot and bringing someone in. And we ended up winning the match. So that was kind of like the moment for me in playtest where I was like, oh, this is so cool, just this extra agency that you have to make those decisions, which is really cool.
It's actually
and a cool thing to see it come together.
Yeah, it's actually why we did that in the mode, so that it takes a little bit of relearning. When your teammates goes down, you grab their card, and your first instinct is run to the spot. I know the spots, right? And you get ready to go. And even if you have it in your inventory, it just doesn't click. We were even having a hard time remembering when we started testing this thing, right? So in the mode, you don't have any option. And you immediately go like, where's the respawn beacon? I can't find one. Oh yeah, I have one on me. And let me go find a safe spot and call it in.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I'm always looking, when we introduce new mechanics like this, seeing the replay videos, the comeback stories, and what players are going to do and creative solutions that they find for calling people back. So, and I think especially seeing how this could potentially affect pro play as well, especially in those end circles, is going to be super interesting to see how it goes. We'll be looking at player feedback big time on this, so make sure to get your hands on it and let us know how you guys are enjoying it, what you think of it, for sure.
I challenge everybody out there to try to win a match by calling in the mobile respawn beacon. I bet it's possible. It can land on someone. That would be great. Yes. Please, I want to see those clips. That'd be pretty amazing. The art, just when it comes down and breaks apart, like it looks awesome. It's super cool, as always. We've introduced a new heirloom in this event. I feel like every time our artists and animators are just trying to bring it up another notch since we started introducing these. This is no exception. Mirage being our next winner, I guess, for the heirlooms with his little fun trophies. That's just, we're showing some gameplay footage of it. It's just hilarious. Just credit to our amazing artists and animators who build this stuff. It's just super fun. Fits his personality, I think, perfectly.
Great problem.
That'll be your next heirloom. Exactly. I think it's fun to come up with. It's great to hear community think of what they think other legends would have as their heirlooms. And I remember Mirage the statue being one that was coming up pretty often, especially from the scene in the Season 3 CG trailer where he gives his statue a little poke. So it just felt right on point for him. For sure. Very, very exciting stuff. So that's available now in the event as well. We have brand new cosmetics, some awesome new skins. You're seeing a few of them there behind Chad, and we're rolling some B-roll here that'll show you some of the other cosmetics that are earnable and chaseable in the game as well. All the details are in our event blog on Play Apex, so go ahead and you guys can check that out for more. Another thing we want to talk about here with this is not just the content, but also some big changes that are coming to the game. There's got a lot of things that are happening in the patch notes. Those are live right now, so you guys can follow along. We're not going to go through all of them, but thought there were some bigger changes in here that McCord wants to speak to as far as what the team is thinking from a design standpoint, especially on some of the changes we're making to Legends for this update, which are pretty exciting. So, Cord, without further ado, why don't you take it away on some of the cool new things that are coming in the patch notes tomorrow?
Yeah, I'll try to go through these relatively fast. Like you said, you can read along online on the patch notes. One of the big ones is Lifeline. Quick Band-Aid pull is Fast Heal is gone on Lifeline. We're trying to push her into a role of helping others instead of just being sort of able to heal herself really fast. So what we did instead is we added a new ability, a new passive called Combat Revive. So when she reses somebody, she drops her dot drone down on her friendly, and the dot does the rest, does the shield and everything, and she's immediately guns up again and can keep fighting. So she is the combat medic, right? That really plays to her archetype. She can res and fight, or she can res two people at once. She can drop the drone, and then she can go res her other friend as well at the exact same time. A while ago, we gave Gibraltar fast heal while in the bubble. So we wanted to sort of keep trying to pull those two apart a little bit more and give her something new. We also lowered her cooldown on her heal drone, so you can use it more often. And we also improved her care package. So she now will still get like one of her doors will always be like a purple armor or a purple helmet or KO shield. The other one could be up to 3 healing items, and the other one could be up to 2 high tier attachments. So she's a little more reliable as somebody who can call in stuff for everybody. Another big one is Octane. We have heard people feedback on Octane. So we looked at what he wants to be and where he needs to get a little better. First off, he can sprint 10% faster while stemmed. So that's going to be really good for feeling like the speediest legend, which is what I hear a lot, right? He's supposed to be the fastest, he should be the fastest. Stem activation also cancels slow. So slow when getting shot, slow while moving through gas, slow when getting hit by Bangor's ultimate, any kind of slow. Stem, you just activate stem and you'll punch right through it. And then the fun one is his jump pad gives everybody that uses it a double jump. So you hit it, midway there, just right after you hit it, you now have the prompt to double jump, and when you double jump, you can redirect your direction. Because what we wanted to make, we got a lot of feedback that Octane's really predictable once he hits the jump pad and he's flying through the air. So we want to give Octane and the teammates that use the jump an opportunity to reposition really easily. So that should be a good one for him. For Wraith, so we're still looking at Wraith. I think maybe right now all Wraith mains are going like, no, please. Not again. Her win encounter ratio is very high still. So we looked at how we could tweak her. Like we didn't want to keep nerfing her into the ground. So we looked at what can we give back to her if we're going to take something away. So what we're doing here is we're going to
Void running.
Her tactical takes a little longer to activate. So it goes from 0.4 seconds to 1.25 seconds. So whenever you go to do her hand goes out to do her phase. Now she has a little extra animation that comes out and then she does it. To compensate for that,
Phasing.
She gets a minor speed boost when it fires. She can stay in the phase for an extra second. So it's no longer a 3-second phase, but now it's a 4-second phase. She can use it more often, from 35 seconds down to 25-second cooldown. And you can see other players while you're in the void. So this makes for much better positioning strategy when you're in there. Hopefully you're not going to have as many opportunities or any more situations where you just pop back into the world next to some enemies. One more little tweak is her ultimate positioning came down a little bit from 4,000 to 3,000 units. We want her ult to be more about repositioning in fights instead of repositioning at really long distances, which is what Pathfinder is more about. So that's right. For Wattson, Wattson goal this patch is to enable players to be able to breach Wattson positions, which is a really strong, she has a really strong foothold when she takes a building. So now her trophy lasts for 90 seconds instead of infinite. There's this cool little timer on the base of it, so you can see how long it has. But you can have 3 out at a time, and she can stack ultimate accelerates 2 at a time. So like, you can still pretty much have them up constantly, but you got to work for it. And then, so I'll go through a couple quick ones. We've got Crypto. He gets a couple small little buffs. His drone deploys 1 second faster than it used to, and his ultimate destroys Watson pylons and Loba black markets. So he should be able to push Watson fortifications a little bit easier. For Revenant, we've removed the range on the totem, so you can now use it and just push as far as you can. You still have a timer, but we just sort of realized that the range wasn't necessary. For Caustic, players can now shoot his barrels as he throws them out as they're building. You know, you throw them out and they kind of inflate. During that time, you can just shoot them anywhere and they'll deactivate. That's just to stop Caustic from using them like grenades and more like placing them before, you know, the hold-up position before players get there. For Mirage, you can send out decoys while you're skydiving, and it will send out a decoy of your whole squad instead of just yourself, as long as you're still with your squad. So we don't want you to split off and have this opportunity to fake people out. But if you're with your squad in skydive, you can send out a whole decoy squad. And then a quality of life for him is that you, when you send out his decoy, if you hold the button down and then when you release it, you'll automatically start controlling the decoy automatically. So that's for Legends. There's a lot going on there. And then the other one that's worth calling out, I think, is a nerf to the Havoc. So we tried nerfing it a little bit at the start of Season 5 and didn't pull it down enough. So this next patch increases the randomized recoil on to the right for the first few shots. So it makes it a little harder to get recentered right away. And then we've lowered his magazine size from 32 to 28. There you go.
Very nice.
Whew. Exhale.
Woo, beautifully succinctly done. We have lots of other changes that are in the game with this update, including some bug fixes and quality of life stuff that we're not going to go into a 2-hour episode detailing every single one. But like I said, patch notes are live on playapex.com. You can read through all the details right now before the event goes live tomorrow. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me on this with your busy schedule. It's always super cool to be able to go into detail on some of the changes. This is an event we're really excited about, so it's just fun to share stuff with players and to finally be able to talk about this stuff. So just to recap, crossplay, Steam, Switch, coming to Apex Legends, and we'll have more to talk about in the future. Super, super exciting. Lost Treasures, our next collection event, launches tomorrow with our new limited time mode, Armed and Dangerous, with some twists on it, mobile respawn beacons, Crypto's map room, lots of great changes to Legends and weapons. Lastly, for our Twitch Prime members out there, our next drop is available for Gibraltar Skin that you can, for linking an account. So if you're a Twitch Prime member, head over to Twitch, the link to get your free Gibraltar Skin, as that's available right now for a limited time. Enjoy the event. Please let us know your feedback on and the bugs you guys are finding, all that fun stuff. We're going to be watching for all of those things, and we're super excited to play the game with you guys all this week with all the new stuff. McCord, Grenier, thank you guys. Anything else for our fans, our players?
That's a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know how we did it. But somehow we did, and here we are. Credit to the team during this remote times for all the incredible work that we did. That we got this out the door. This is really, really exciting. So enjoy, everyone. Be safe out there, and we'll see you next month for our next Devstream.
Bye.
Yep. Thanks for having us.